Good evening. My name is Mr. Mamoon. Welcome to the Langley Academy Science Department, and this is my email address if you want to contact me regarding any questions you have in Year 7 Science. In science, we teach biology, chemistry, and physics, and these are the textbooks that I will going to talk about later. Before we start teaching them the curriculum, we teach them about the introduction to science lessons, and this includes safety in the lab equipment, and where to find how they look like and where to find them in the lab, hazard symbol, how they look like and what they are called and what's the reason for them. And then we taught them about how to use a Bunsen burner. This is a very exciting lesson where students went ahead and were very excited about using a Bunsen burner, and at the end of the lesson they got a certificate that I have used a Bunsen burner. Then we teach them how to investigate a practical. They set up the practical following a method, and then how to use a result table where they enter the data that they have found in the practical, and we teach them graphing skills and how to write a conclusion and evaluation regarding the practical they have done. This is the curriculum plan that we follow for Year 7. As you can see, the biology, chemistry, and physics are taught at different times during the term. The reason being because of the practicals. This is why the students are not taught the same topic at the same time. So depending on the practicals, because the equipments for the practical coming from the prep room have to be shared between all the classes. And as we notice, after half term, we have introduced literacy and numeracy. This is to fill the gap the students had during the lockdown. In biology, students learn about observing cells. They observed cells made on already prepared slides, and they prepared their own slide using an onion cell. And also they have learned about plant and animal cells, where they created models of plant or animal cells or any of the specialized cells that they have learned as homework, and they brought it to class and it is displayed in the classroom. They also learned about movement of substances, how the substances move from a high concentration to a low concentration. They done this also by doing a practical. They also learned about unicellular organisms and how they look by creating slides, and they observed the slide under microscope and they saw how these unicellular organisms look and how they move around. They also learned in biology about level of organization, gas exchange, breathing, how it happens when they breathe in and out. They learned about the parts of the skeleton, and they have made up their own skeleton by cutting the parts of the skeleton, sticking them together. They learned about movement joints and movement of the muscles. Have a thought about this question. How many bones do you think human skeleton have? Also, they're going to learn about reproduction in humans. They're going to learn and plants. They're going to learn about adolescence, reproductive system, fertilization and implantation, development of fetus, menstrual cycle, flowers and pollination, fertilization and germination, seed dispersal. In this topic here, there are lots of activities that they will do, including a practical where they dissect a part of a flower and label each part of the flower after dissection. They also have a practical regarding seed dispersal and the factors that affect seed dispersal. So here you have got a question to think about. Why do you think some plants have colorful flowers but others don't? In chemistry, students have learned about particles and their behavior. They learned about the particle model, states of matter, melting and freezing, boiling, more changes of state, diffusion, and gas pressure. In all these topics, each topic is either linked to an activity or a practical where students have done a practical, for example, the cooling curve of stearic acid, and then they have plotted a graph regarding this cooling curve of stearic acid, and they have identified the melting point of this graph. They also practical, they have done diffusion practical, where they see potassium permanganate have moved from one place until they disperse to all the solution. Also here you have a question to think about. Have you ever had a balloon go bang when trying to blow it up? Why do you think this is? All right. We're also going to learn about elements, atoms, and compounds, the elements and atoms and compounds in chemical formula. So here the students will start to link uh, the elements and the atoms and the compound, and then how to write the chemical formula. Reactions. Students are going to learn about chemical reactions, how to write a word equation, burning fuels, thermal decomposition, conservation of mass, exothermic and endothermic reaction. Each topic is linked to a practical where the students do or an activity. Acid and alkalis, acid and alkalis, indicators and pH, neutralization and making salts. Students learn about these topics, and each topic again is linked to a practical to, to reinforce their understanding of these topics. In physics, the students learn about forces, introduction of forces, squashing and stretching, drag force and friction, balanced and unbalanced forces. Also, each topic have a practical that's linked to it. Then in sound, they learn about sound, they learn about waves, they learn about sound and energy transfer, they learn about loudness and pitch, and detecting sound, echoes, and ultrasound. Also, they learn about light, reflection, refraction, the eye and the camera, and color. So each topic also have a practical link to it. This topic this year, we took it away from the curriculum to introduce the literacy and the numeracy. But towards the end of the year, they're going to have virtual museum learning sessions where they're going to learn about space. Here I'm going to talk about the science resources. We have a Caboodle, which is a digital book. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. Educate is also a resource where students have access to a number of quizzes. Either this teacher will set the quiz as homework, or the teacher will, or they can set the quiz themselves and practice themselves at home. Then we have the Key Stage 3 Science Revision Guide. It's a student book and a workbook where students use it to revise for the exam or assessment, or to improve their learning. The Caboodle is a science digital resource. This digital resource, students can get access to the digital resource books that we use in class. All they have to do is they enter this website, www.caboodle.com, and the students can log in as follows. They use the username, and the password is as follows: the first letter of their first name plus their surname, no space, and lowercase. Then they can change the password. Institution code is RI1, lowercase. Once they enter, they click into Activate Science, the blue one here. This is the books for year 7 and 8. And once they click on the Activate, it this will appear. This screen will appear. Then they click on Activate One Caboodle book, and this is the book that we use for year 7. This book that we use for year 7 has biology, chemistry, and physics. And this is one of the pages, the digital pages that we have. So the students can use these books to read through the information, reinforce what they have learned in class, create their own notes, and answer the questions, summary questions, or the questions A, B, and C. Teachers might set homework using this digital book, and they can also use it to revise when they have end of topic or end of term assessment. They can use it as a revision tool for their assessment or end of topic assessment or end of term assessment. As you can see, it's a very colorful book, and it's exactly what we use in classroom, so it will be easy for them to use. The other digital resource that we have is called EduCake. So this one is for making homework and revision very easily. The students receive homework from their teacher or can set their own quiz to revise. As you can see here on this screen, it has student login. So the student login will be given in class for the students, the username and the password, and then they can change the password. Once the student log in, straight away, this is the area that they should go to. Either they can create their own quiz, or the teacher might have sent them homework. Okay, and they can practice. They can practice as much as they can by doing the quiz. This will improve their learning and will help them if they have assessment coming up. Okay? Another revision guide available at ParentPay at a reduced price, or you can get it from Amazon. So this is a very good revision tool. It has all the information the students need for year 7 and 8. So it will be used for 2 years. So I would suggest the students order the higher level. As you can see, there are two levels. One is a higher level, the other one is a foundation level. I would suggest the student use a higher level unless their teacher indicated otherwise. So this book is a complete study and practice. So there is uh, information, and then they can practice using the questions that they have at the end of each topic. This revision guide, it contains everything the students need to success in Key Stage 3 science, whether it's year 7 or 8, so they will use it for 2 years. Everything is up to date with the curriculum. Every topic is explained with clear, friendly notes and diagrams, colorful diagrams, and examples, easy to read pages. There are summary questions and test style questions at the end of each section, and the answers are at the back of the book, so the students can mark their own work. There's also a free digital online edition of the whole book is also included. Just use the unique code printed at the front of the book to access it on a PC or Mac or a tablet. Now, as you can see in the previous slide, these are the 3 books that we use in class, and it's also found in Kaboodle. So you don't need to buy them, because in Kaboodle the digital books are free, so the students can use them free. There's no point of buying the book. Homework will always be notified to the students through Show My Homework or Microsoft Teams. And if there is any assessment or any end of topic assessment, it will also be notified to students on those 2 platforms. Revision tips. These are the revision tips that we also encourage students to do in class, creating flashcards. Okay, or they can create diagrams, or they can create the revision cards of the main points that they need to remember. Okay, uh, they can use a highlighter and lots of pictures to help them to remember. They can write the main points only, as you will want to recall the important things. So you can write the main points on the flashcards, like the example is found here. Use of highlighters. You can use color, a highlighter, and lots of pictures to help them remember. They can write the main points only, as you will want to recall the most important things. Okay? The notes have to be clear. If they're not clear, they can recheck on the textbook that's found in the Kaboodle, or the revision guide that they're going to buy from ParentPay. Okay? and make sure they are copying the correct information. The other study skill that the student can use, we also taught them in class, is how to make a mind map. And these are the example of how to do it. For example, if they're learning about cells, they can write about animal cell, they can write about plant cell, they can write about specialized cell, and then go in details about what is found in the animal cell, what is found in a plant cell, and the structures found, different specialized cells, and what is the function of each structure that is found in the animal cell, plant cell, and the function and adaptation of the specialized cells. Then they can also use past paper to practice their learning, okay, and time their work, or they can work with another person to test each other. Always they reward yourself and have a break. Other readings, they can use these books if they want to do extra reading in science. Frequently ask questions. For example, where do we get the revision guide from? Is from Parent Pay at reduced price. How long would it take until the revision guide arrives? It takes normally around 2 weeks. How will I know if my child will have end of topic assessment or end of term assessment? Uh, we tell the students in class, or we notify the students in Microsoft Teams or show my homework. What if my child's login details for Caboodle or Educate is not working? The teacher will reset it for your child. Thank you very much for listening. And please, if you have any questions, my email address is found at the beginning of the slide. You can contact me. Thank you.